Morning, folks. It's very, very early. I've just watched the Canelo Alvarez Jaime Munguia fight. I didn't see the undercard. I was asleep. I only watched this live because I woke up and it was kind of on. And it was a better fight than I expected, actually. Now, I thought I predicted a knockout, late knockout for Alvarez, probably between rounds 8 and 10. And Munguia surprised me. He's tougher than I thought he was. And the first 3 rounds I gave to Munguia. I thought Munguia was working the jab nicely. He was working at range quite well. He was landing some nice combinations, tripling up on the jab. He was mainly using the jab, and it kind of made me think maybe he was trying to employ the Dimitri Bivol tactics. Keep everything long range and work off the jab. And I thought we might, I thought this was quite interesting. Alvarez is a notorious slow starter anyway, so I didn't read too much into that. I've seen a few people in the last sort of hour or so moaning, saying that he's on the Canelo's on the slide and all this kind of stuff. But in the 4th, he came to life, Alvarez, and he landed that massive right uppercut that dropped Munguia, and that was a nasty uppercut. And I was surprised. The fight went the full distance, to be honest, because it really snapped his head up. That right uppercut, bang, just landed perfectly, and Munguia went down. And I noticed in the replays, as he went down, he was clipped by a left hook. Alvarez sort of clipped him, and I wonder if he'd have landed that left hook a bit earlier, as the head went back, and then he cracked him with a full-blooded left hook then. Would Munguia have got up? I mean, that was a vicious knockdown, and he did very well to get up. It just shows how tough Munguia is. That was in the 4th. I made some notes during the fight. I was just sort of glancing up. That sort of woke Alvarez up, really, and sort of the next couple of rounds, few rounds, he was kind of boxing quite nicely. He was working the body. I mean, he landed some savage body shots on Munguia in this fight, especially the left hook to the liver. Jesus, I didn't think that Munguia would be able to take them for long, but he took them. And I mean that's kind of when Alvarez kind of started taking over a little bit. He was landing some stiff jabs, some nice straight right hands, and obviously the body work. Munguia kind of came back a bit in the 8th, and he landed some nice combinations. But he couldn't hurt Alvarez. Like I say, Alvarez has got a fantastic chin. He's got one of the best chins in all of boxing. I mean, you've never seen him down. He's never really been hurt. He was shaken once by Jose Miguel Cotto years ago, quite early in his career. But aside from that, I can't remember any time that I've actually seen Alvarez get hit and it registers like properly, I mean, Bivol hit him cleanly, Triple G did, and it didn't hurt him, or didn't appear to hurt him, let's put it that way. But yeah, Munguia had his moment, like I say, he was coming back. He was very brave, though. It was a real great action fight from both men. Sort of now 9 and 10 was about the time I thought, right, Alvarez will probably take him out. And he was landing, again, wonderful straight right hands, working the body. And I mean, Munguia was working the body as well, quite nicely. A couple of them strayed low, but that happens, so I don't think it was anything intentional. And in the last 2 rounds, they were, I mean, Munguia had figured out he needed a knockout, I think, by this point, and was really sort of going for it. He was attacking more. But Canelo, more experience, probably the better chin, obviously, probably the harder hitter. He just, nothing was phasing him, so he just went to work. And it was a wonderful, wonderful fight. I scored it 116-111 to Canelo Alvarez. One of the judges had it 115-112, and the other judge had it 117-110. Hey, can't complain with any of those scorecards, because there were a couple of rounds in there that could have potentially gone to Munguia, but I probably gave them to Alvarez, because I think although Munguia was landing a lot of combinations and was working nicely when the fight was at range, he was working nicely at range. I just thought that the more telling punches were coming from Alvarez. The cleaner, the more eye-catching stuff was coming from Alvarez. So I was kind of scoring to Alvarez in some rounds. But if they'd have gone the other way, you couldn't really complain. So, some people have had a problem with the 115, 112 card. I didn't. I thought it was okay. Like I say, I had it 116, 111. And no, it was a better fight than I expected. I thought that Alvarez would wear him down and stop him. Munguia finished the fight on his feet. A few people have said he's on the slide, Alvarez. Of course, he's not going to be what he was 10 years ago. I mean, he's only 33, but he's had a long career. I mean, he's been doing this since he was 15 years old. I mean, that's a long time to be a professional. And, yeah, maybe he is on the slide. I mean, the head movement seems to have disappeared in recent years. But because he's got a good chin, I know it's not ideal, but because he's got such a good chin, it doesn't really affect him so much. The performances so much. It'd be interesting to see what he does. I'd like to see him fight Benavidez. I thought he should have been fighting Benavidez last night. We're all disappointed that didn't happen, but this was a good substitute for Benavidez, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I haven't watched the undercard yet. I've seen the results. I'll probably watch the undercard later on. I'm going to get a couple of hours sleep. But no, better fight than I expected. Well done to Munguia for surviving. I mean, they both proper warriors, and anybody who bought a ticket to that got well and truly got their money's worth. It was a fantastic fight. Really enjoyed it. And Munguia, I mean, I think this fight kind of came a bit soon for him, I think. But then again, if he'd have won somehow, we wouldn't be saying that. So it's just one of those subjective things, isn't it? But no, good fight. Really enjoyed it. Kudos to the pair of them. They both fought their hearts out. And Canelo Alvarez is still probably the face, if not one of the faces of boxing. Where a lot of people don't like him, a lot of people shit on him for various things, and I agree. Sometimes he does need shitting on. He should have fought Benavidez. This should have been Benavidez in there tonight. Hopefully that fight will happen this year, but we'll see. But that's enough out of me, folks. Hope you saw the fight. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, folks, and I'll speak to you soon.